Now, many viewers might react to this next story with the thought, this is how bad it's getting. North Tonawanda police will now train local residents how to identify and respond in an active shooter event. Now, this is in light of the mass shooting at Tops here in Buffalo and at an elementary school in Texas. Now, unfortunately, this type of training is very familiar to teachers and students, and now residents can also try to prepare for this scary and, in many cases, life-threatening situation. And joining us live is North Tonawanda Police Chief Keith Glass. Chief, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Mary Alice.
Chief, we have a sense of why you're offering this training now, but I have to play the devil's advocate. What do you say to critics who might question whether this type of training for the community is necessary?
Well, we feel it's absolutely necessary to give people in our community the chance to learn how to arm themselves with the knowledge of what to do if something like what happened recently should happen in our community.
Absolutely. Let's get into it a little bit and talk about what's involved in the training. What can residents expect to learn? And is it similar to the training that teachers and students receive in school?
It's similar. We've got two highly skilled officers that are very familiar with this type of training. They're going to be presenting it. It's going to be, what does the average citizen do when you're walking into Tops or walking into Walmart? We're using a few different training methods combined into one, more directed towards our specific city.
It's really proactive, because I've heard a lot, we've gotten a lot of response from the community or people just anecdotally saying that they don't know what they would have done if they were in that situation. So it sounds like you're going to be answering that question. And is this a first-time training that you yourself have developed, or is it being done in other parts of the country?
Well, the mayor came to me asking if we had this type of training to offer. And we do. We've done it not to the public, but we've done it in the past. So we're tailoring the training for the public. And as far as I know, I haven't heard of any local agencies that are doing something like this. It sounds like we're the first to do something like this.
I'm sure it involved a lot of training and consultation with other officers on the force. Now, do you have any concerns with this type of training that might lead people to get themselves into an even more dangerous situation by trying to help? Is that something that you cover?
It's something we cover. Primarily, it's three steps that we're going to be going over. Number one, if something doesn't feel right, get out, leave the building. If something does happen and you're in the building, how to prepare, what to do. And if you are in a locked room of some sort and the bad guy gets through, how to handle yourself in that situation.
Have you gotten any kind of response? I happen to follow your department on Facebook. Are you hearing from the community or getting any kind of sense for how people feel about taking part in something like this? What are you hearing?
We've had a lot of positive responses for this, and it's going to be in the Alumni Center, so we're hoping to have a good turnout. And most of the community is very positive and interested in hearing what we have to offer.
Let me ask, who should turn out and take this training? Who do you think can benefit from being there in the auditorium?
We're aiming at everybody that shops, which is everybody. It's going to be more designed for adults, small children. It might be a little sensitive to bring your small child to. But anybody that's free, it's welcome to, open to everybody in the community, not just North Tonawanda. If you're outside of North Tonawanda, we welcome you also.
So I'm assuming you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be presenting to the community. Is there a Q&A type of situation built in, or do you prefer that people enter questions in advance through your Facebook page? How are you going to handle, the inevitable questions that people in the community might have?
There will be a question and answer session at the end after training in which we can cover anything that people have concerns over.
Has this been something that you've had in the works or that you've been thinking about for a while? I mean, obviously the recent shooting in Buffalo, I'm sure, kicked it into high gear, but is this something that you personally had been thinking about doing? I know you haven't been chief for that long, so maybe this is a new part of your own agenda.
Yes, that's definitely, it's a new part, but once the mayor came to me and presented the idea, we just kind of ran with it. And what better opportunity to do it than now.
Very true. It's obviously a very proactive approach to this new world, I guess you could all say, that we're involved in now. Again, I want to repeat for everybody that the training is on Thursday, June 9th. It starts at 6 p.m. at the North Tonawanda Senior High School Alumni Center. This training, by the way, is free, but you're asking residents to bring a canned good for the Buffalo residents impacted by last week's shooting. North Tonawanda Police Chief Keith Glass, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, sir.